Greetings, Warriors. Back with another episode of Bigger Warriors 2, and we are traveling again on the road here, trying to get to another place. So I'm driving, but I wanted to kind of do another video because it kind of hit me, and I have lots of great questions. So we're going to focus on a topic today. This one's going to be on prayer and meditation, because I had a question on that from some of my friends, and what do I think about that when it comes to retention? And so we're gonna focus on that in a second. First, subscribe, like, and comment. I use all your comments and try to kind of answer questions, at least from my perspective. As I always said, I'm not an expert, but I can tell you my experiences. And living 60 years, I've had some good experiences and bad experiences. I can share a lot of those with you as I go through, and I'll talk about different issues as we go along. So today, the issue is prayer and meditation. So, two things I want to cover here. One is, why is this important when it comes to retention? Now, regardless of your religious viewpoints, I'm not going to get into, on this video at all, the religious aspect of things. Because I can tell you that, prayer brings me closer to God, and so does retention, okay? Those things that I feel. But let's talk about it from a practical standpoint in this one, especially meditation and prayer. And so I put those together because I do a lot of those together. But meditation by itself is effective just as well. And depending on how you pray and how you meditate, you may want to take meditation separate and do those type of things in a different way. But the key, guys, in all of this is to learn how to control yourself, control your emotions, be able to transmute that energy into positive types of things that can create your goals. And so prayer and meditation, and I also fast at the same time, those things tend to bring you closer to your inner self and to the voice within yourself. And you can call that a lot of different things, but I think it's important to focus on hearing yourself and that internal communication that you give yourself all the time, and focusing on things that you really need to kind of focus on to get things done. And so, as we talk about prayer, we talk about meditation, it's important to kind of focus the importance of that. It's really kind of a calming thing, especially if you're stressed out with a lot of the activities that go on day to day. You want to relax, you want to go ahead and kind of central yourself and pray. And so you want to kind of get away from all the things that are out there, especially the negative thoughts. And obviously, when we talk about retention, we're talking about all those images out there and all the people trying to get you to do things and grab your energy and all those type of things. And those type of things really focus a lot on trying to get you to focus on giving up energy when you don't want to. And I think we've kind of been brainwashed all this time about things, and to kind of follow along like sheep with some of the stuff we're talking about here, and it just simply is not true. And you have to kind of look at your own example to figure it out. And it took me a long time, and I was kind of believing a lot of things out there, and I wasn't really kind of being central. And so I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm doing this more and more, and I'm able to realize that, being able to control things within yourself is the whole key. And as Epictetus said, he talked about that a man is not really going to be successful until they master themselves. And I think that's the whole key of what we're talking about. So when we talk about meditation, there's a couple key points to kind of focus on when you're meditating. The first key point is that you really can't, and let me put it in terms of the negative thoughts. So when you're meditating, you have both positive and negative thoughts that you can actually kind of use. And those things are going to hit you all day long. Now, what most people, the mistake they make is that when they try to have negative thoughts, they try to get rid of the negative thoughts. When you're meditating, you should just allow all the ideas to come forward. But what you cannot do is you're never going to remove that negative energy if you try to do it. So for example, if you have a negative thought about somebody, focusing on it brings more attention to your brain and yourself, your awareness, and so now you think about it even more. You don't want to do that. So you really can't get rid of negative thoughts by either subtracting them, getting rid of them, or dividing them up. You're never going to do that. You can only add and multiply thoughts. So instead of taking the negative thought and trying so hard to get rid of it, saying, get out of here, negative thought, get away from me, get away from these images, get all this stuff. What you want to do is refocus yourself and focus on positive thoughts. Fill in your mind, instead of the negative thoughts, with the positive thoughts. And so as you're meditating, as you're sitting there, I want you to concentrate on something. And now I try to concentrate on my breath, something internal. I try to concentrate maybe on my heartbeat, or something that's focusing on your stomach, or something that you're able to shift all of that attention away from that stress, that negative thoughts, and you're able then to go ahead and refocus. And this is an amazing type of technique to use, because what it does, it gets all the information away from things you're focusing on, and it focuses on something that's different. You use a different mechanism, and you eliminate a lot of that stress. You eliminate those things that are taking you down, and you're really focusing more on the positive things that are going to bring you up. And so you're not going to be as influenced by the negative thought. You're not going to go ahead and focus on trying to kind of look at temptation, go ahead and work on those type of things that are negative. What you're going to do is focus on the positive. That stress, guys, and the energy that you lose, all those type of things come out of the fact that you're not really focusing on yourself. You're focusing on fear and all those type of things that really hurt you when it comes to trying to be better. And so as we focus on this type of thing, it's important to kind of look at this and say, okay, I'm going to focus on the positive types of things. I'm not going to focus on a negative type of thing. I'm going to look and saying, okay, let's go ahead and refocus this meditation on something that is inside of me. And so then you're not going to go ahead and be able to think about all these negative things that come in their life. And this is really a good technique anytime. I would say, obviously you want a quiet place. You want somewhere which you can actually stretch out. And some people, you kind of see the typical type of meditation where people have their legs together and feet together and hands together and things like that. Well, guys, there's a reason for that. The big reason is that as you're connecting your body, when you connect your feet together and your hands together, you're connecting all the sources of your body together. And when it comes to being centralized and centraling, it makes sense that would help the situation. To get your feet together and your hands together and really try to connect all parts of your body together in being peace and calm. And given we're all kinds of things that we're stressed out about during the day, this can be really relaxing. Now, I suggest doing this a lot. Now, I add this with prayer myself. You can use this any way you want to, but I really think that doing this at least once a day is a great thing. Now, I try to do it in the morning a little bit. I try to do it in the afternoon, a lunch break if I can, and I also do a lot of it at night. Because I think a lot of times what you really want to do is kind of focus on a routine. I try to do my exercises, my fun exercises, and if I'm not lifting or something like that, I also do meditation in the morning, and I do meditation at night, and once in a while if I get a chance during the day, I'll do it as well. But a lot of it kind of focuses on whether or not you have time and how you use things. But I would definitely make time to try to do at least once a day. Sit and meditate. Don't think about all the things. Don't push them out. Instead of instead of focusing on all the negative things that have happened during the day, take a couple deep breaths, breathe in, breathe out, okay? And focus on something that's in yourself, like your heartbeat, once again, like your pulse, whatever it might be, or your breathing. And think about your breathing. Once again, in the law of physics, you cannot think about two things simultaneously. So you can either think about your breath, or you can think about that son of a gun who told you, and said bad things to you today, or that fight you got into, or that fight with your girlfriend or boyfriend, things like that. Okay, you got to focus on the positive things. Don't dwell on the negatives, because you're going to bring more negative things to you, and it's just going to continue to hurt what you're doing. So the key, guys, is to be able to say, okay, let's refocus, reframe, I call it, reframe the way you're thinking about things. And reframe this in a way where it's moving towards your goal. Now, obviously a stressful day, those type of things, you say, well, I can't really focus on that. I can't, that's a negative type of thing. Well, what you're doing is refocusing and thinking about positive thoughts to get back on track. Yes, you might get, hit with a shot, for instance, in your war battle, you may get hit with something, but it doesn't mean you're dead, right? You're going to keep moving along, and you're going to keep doing it the next time and the next time. And so you got to have a mechanism, and we talked about this in the other video talking about rest. You got to have a mechanism for you to be calm and learn how to be at peace. And that's a tough thing to do, especially in our society, especially in the Western world. It's very difficult to have peace because you're being hit by one thing or another in this world, and it just continues to be stressful, and a lot of things that we have that create stress with people. But you got to learn how to deal with that, especially if you're going to be a vigorous warrior and a vigor man, a vigor woman type of person that can be able to deal with all the types of things in life to be that true leader that needs to happen. And I think as you do this, you're going to realize that it's important to have some peace time, have some time for yourself. And if you have time for yourself, what better way to kind of focus than to try to central yourself. Make yourself in the central. Now, I say that because I go back to the chakras again. And you have those 7 chakras, right? And as we talk about that, I believe that's a very important type of thing to look into and basically say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and rotate my chakras and encourage to speed those things up. And the way I do that is by connecting myself. Even through meditation, I can actually kind of focus on those chakras that I have. And those guys are key. And that's why I talk about the core being important, all those type of things. And people use different terminologies, and they don't really, some people don't believe in the chakras and don't believe in the core and those type of things. But I'm telling you from my own experiences, I believe that's very true. I believe there's things within you, energy sources, and this is why I talk about energy all the time. I believe there's energy sources that help you focus and kind of succeed and move from day to day. I think that you're, not just like I call it a bag of bones, right? You have something within yourself. Now you can kind of look at women that way or men that way because you don't want to have temptation. But in reality, what's behind all those bag of bones, right, is basically your energy levels. And that's what people are looking at. So, guys, and they showed this in the Fountain of Youth book as well. If you took a photograph of a person, you're really looking at an energy source. And that energy source comes a lot from your energy level. A lot of that's your seed and things that you have as a male. And those types of things are important. Testosterone level is important when it comes to the energy level. People sense that. They may not be able to say this. They see who you are, but what they're sensing is your energy. So again, meditation, prayer, those things are important to be able to kind of calm yourself and get ready for the next battle that you're facing. All right, guys. Until next time, battle on, warriors. Battle on.